Hello, hello. Welcome back to the Money Mama podcast. I am so excited because I have Lindsay here today. Lindsay, take it away.
Hi, everyone. My name is Lindsey Gann. I'm the artist and founder of Bold and Bloom, and I create hand sculpted floral jewelry for moms who have spent years being everything for everyone else and are finally ready to feel like themselves again.
My God. Okay, so how did you get started?
It actually started. I've listened to your podcast and I'm a little bit older than I think most of your guests because it sounds like most of your guests are kind of in the middle of having kids and the chaos of having kids, and mine are all adults. So a couple years ago when they all moved out, my house was suddenly so quiet and I became very depressed because, what's a mom without having kids to be a mom to? Yeah, exactly. So, I have 4 kids and they're all
Wow.
around the same age. So when they all moved out at the same time, it was kind of a shocker to have just my husband and I. So that depression kind of kicked off this need to figure out who I am and what I wanted in my life. And one day, while honestly doom scrolling on Amazon, I came across clay and for some reason just decided to order myself a starter kit and started creating earrings, and it's just kind of bloomed from there.
Oh, I love the play on bloom. I want to talk about this for a second because I think you're right. A lot of the moms, I mean, we have had moms whose kids are not in the home anymore, but oh my gosh, like, that feeling of wanting to find yourself after motherhood, I can't even imagine what you were going through with that, so my heart sympathizes with you because I feel like I think about that a lot, like, what's gonna happen when the kids aren't here anymore? Do you
Hmm.
have any tips for us moms that are, like, still in the thick of it?
Honestly, don't wait until they're gone. You are still a person. And as much as we want to be there for everyone all the time and do everything, you still have to take care of yourself. And if you put yourself first once in a while, you're honestly going to make yourself a better mom that way.
I love that so much. I think we're getting in the age of social media, there's been great people that give a lot of advice of filling your cup, right? Like, or I always think of Schitt's Creek,
Yeah.
where she's like, I watched the airplanes, David. I need to put my mask on first before doing yours. And then, like, it's such a funny concept to think about, but it's so true. Like, if you're in a dire situation, like, you have to save yourself before you could save anybody else. And
Yep.
I think it's so funny because if we transfer that to motherhood, a lot of the times we're just constantly being pulled. And, right now, currently I'm in the thick of it. So it's like travel baseball and gymnastics and all these different things, and it's like, "Oh my gosh, there's definitely moments where you're drowning a little bit." So
For
being
sure.
able to have like an outlet of a business or an outlet of a hustle. And Jessie from LML Beach, she was a couple of episodes ago. She would say that it was Jessie. When she walked into the room, she wasn't so and so's mom. She was Jessie, and that's what she loves about her business so much.
Yeah.
That advice that we're all kind of trying to start now, so this way it's a little bit easier when
Yeah.
they're gone.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I became a mom at 21.
I was about
By
to
the
say, you
time
look fantastic, so I don't know how the kids are gone, but
Yeah, my youngest is 22 now, and I think at 21 I still didn't even know who I was, and then I'm suddenly a mom to somebody, and I never took that time to figure out who I was. So
yeah.
I'm in my 40s now, and this is my time to figure out who I am and what I want and what I love in life, and this is it.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I love that so much. So how is it going trying to figure everything out? What have you been doing?
Gosh,
Any
it's so
tips that are
stressful.
working?
I do this and I work full time, and yeah, it's a whirlwind, but yet I'm working so much, but yet I'm also so much happier than when I was just working a full-time job and taking care
Mhm.
of everyone. So,
Yeah, because now you have a new baby. You
yeah,
have Bold and Bloom, and I think it's so funny because, I say that all the time that our businesses are technically another child because we wanna care for them and we want to pour into them and all of the things, and I think that's why you're so happy again because you have something you're pouring into. Some people buy puppies and kittens, and you're like, "No, I'm gonna start a business."
I bought a puppy too, but
So it is puppies. Okay, I thought that about myself. I'm like, "I'm gonna definitely be the person that buys, like, a puppy." and I treat that like my child.
Yep, exactly. He's
The
my
kids are
baby.
gonna be home and be like, "Mom, like, you love the dog more than me." Well, you're gone. That's
Yeah,
why.
100%.
Oh my gosh, it's so true. Okay, so you bought the clay.
Mhm.
How did you
Had no idea what
decide?
I was doing.
Yeah, so tell us this journey of buying clay to all of a sudden making jewelry with it.
Yeah, honestly, I don't even know. I don't know what possessed me to start this. I think I was just so bored and so depressed that I just needed something. And then when I started going to like farmers markets and hearing everybody say that they were beautiful and that oh my gosh, they hadn't seen anything like this before, and then it turned into I make most of my designs with flowers because to me that represents being a mom and everything we go through and the seasons that we go through, and we continue to bloom from season to season, but we may change a little bit. So the women that buy it, they see themselves in those flowers and the representation that it has. So it just keeps getting better and better each year.
My heart. I love that so much because I think when we talk about like doing different businesses and doing different startups, I think one of the things is and that I love so much when you're making it yourself. So for everybody listening, that's like, you can join different things. Absolutely. And some of them are absolutely fantastic. And you have this like mindset behind it that you're forming these flowers because moms can bloom. And then it's art, right? Because then somebody walks up to your table and it's like, this is like this flower represents me. Or I think that that is such a beautiful thing about handmade crafts and creations because it's a true art where somebody looks at it and it's like, oh my gosh, like she
Yeah, they
just
see
gets me.
themselves in it.
It's beautiful. Raise your hand if you're planning a family vacation. Sounds almost as exhausting as the vacation itself. Yeah, me too. That's why I want you to know about the summer sponsor, Wishes Family Travel with Sue. Sue is a Disney earmarked travel agent who plans stress free trips for real families. And she's especially wonderful with young kids and food allergies. So nothing slips through the cracks. Disney World, Disney Cruise Line, all inclusive resorts, even honeymoons. She handles every little detail so you actually get to relax because your time together is precious and it should feel magical, not overwhelming. Adventure is out there, and Sue can help you plan yours. Follow her on Instagram at Wishes Family Travel with Sue. And remember, she's free to use. How did that feel? Your first sale, when you made your first sale, how did you feel?
Oh gosh, honestly, imposter syndrome is horrible. You feel like you're not good enough and you wonder why they're buying it.
My gosh. Okay, so we start this business, you make these beautiful flowers. How did you sell your first one? Were you on Etsy? Were you just at the farmer's market? How did you approach it?
So I started on Etsy, but I really, it's hard to get out there on Etsy now because it's
Hmm.
so full of so many makers and there's so many beautiful things. So I turned to farmers markets and started there doing some craft shows, and it took me a while to figure out like where my craft shows are, where my people are.
Yes.
So, yeah, there's a lot of learning curves when you start a business like this.
100%. A
And
100%.
yeah, but once I found my people, then it made me realize that this is something important to others, not just me.
I think that is such a good thing to note, guys. When you are doing vendor events for the first time, throw spaghetti at the wall because honestly, you don't know what's going to hit or what's going to miss. So for myself, I do children's books. Oh, I took one down. I do children's books. And I remember going to this farm and I was like, oh, no one's really going to buy, honestly, probably because there's so much competition. It was like a children's book hunt. It was my second top vendor, right? And then I did one at a church and I was like, "Oh, this is going to hit so well." And it flopped
Crickets?
because everybody at that church was like 80 and up. And they're like, "Oh, I wish I had someone to buy this for." So honestly, you never really know where you're supposed to be until you throw spaghetti at the wall and just I did a full year of just
Yeah.
throwing spaghetti at a wall vendor events. And I was like signing up for every single one I saw. And I think that was the best lesson for me to figure out where I truly belong and what vendor events are going to be worth my time. Did
Yeah,
you kind of do the same
100%. I
thing?
think that first year, you're just trying to figure out where you even belong and what events you should be doing. So, Yeah, that first year, just experiment. Don't expect anything.
Yeah. No.
Because if you go
No.
in with expectations that you're gonna make hundreds of
Gonna
dollars
cry.
or thousands of dollars, you're gonna feel so bad at the end of the day.
Yeah, you're just gonna sob and be like, "I just wasted my whole entire day." And I will say, 2 of the things that I've learned personally, like tips and tricks that I truly am going to die on this hill on that it won't really work for anybody. If there is already like, if you have a kid-based product, this is kid-based products. If there's already, like, rides that they have to take kids for or, um, food trucks and treats and all of those things, the chances of you selling stuff when they're already buying and having to purchase all these other things, very slim, very
Yeah,
slim. Yes, there might be hundreds of kids there, but parents, I mean, think about what you're paying the money for. You're like, "Oh, I'm going on the rides. Like, that's what I'm here for." And it's
yep,
like, usually at those events, they even have the vendors way away from the ride. So parents can easily avoid that altogether because they're paying for the boardwalk games and all that stuff. So that one, I'm gonna save you the time. Let's probably not sign up for that one.
yeah,
And
don't
then
do that. Moms and dads are already spending hundreds of dollars.
yeah, no, it's too much. It's too much. And then the other one I would say that was like a massive, massive flop that I thought was going to be fantastic are oh man, I just had it in my head, but now I lost it. I think it's also based on the same kind of thing. Like it was another event where it was like a bounce house that they had to buy. Like any sort of thing where you're already spending money somewhere else, just don't go. Just avoid it completely. Be like, no, like it needs to be a event.
If your target market is parents and
Mm,
families, then yeah, definitely avoid it. If you're going to, if you're going to be at a state fair or something and your target market is the single people, then sure, you're going to find single people that aren't going to the rides and
100%.
are over in the arts section. So it
Love that. I love how it works for you, but it does not work for
yeah.
the kid-based
Yep,
events.
exactly.
See, guys, this is what I mean, throwing spaghetti at a wall. That's what you need to do. I think it's such like a fun I mean, honestly, yes, it's exhausting when you do all these vendor events, but there's also something that's so thrilling about it. It's because first you get to talk about your business and honestly have a 30-second pitch. Like just cook them within that first 30 seconds, whether it's your personality, whatever, always have something on your table to bring people in. And then after that, it's like a thrill. Like, "Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, is
Yeah,
somebody
and
gonna
it's
buy
just a
this?"
conversation with friends, really. I mean, that's what it feels like to me. It's like I'm really not a people person, but when I do these, I feel like 100% I'm out there and I love everybody. So I don't know what flips that switch when I'm doing this.
I know. I feel like it's because 'cause you're the face of your business, right? Like, I feel like, that's kind of what it is, and I also feel like if you're just constantly going out and talking to people, like, as a mom, all the sports events and everything, it could get a little exhausting, so it's a little bit different when you're not overstimulated watching your kids running around and having a conversation that because it's just you. It's just you and your beautiful jewelry sitting there, and you're like, "Oh, I don't have to worry. My mind's not a million places. I could just talk about the thing that I made."
Yeah, I'm completely stressed out that I have a time schedule to keep and I got to be set up at this
Yep.
time, but I'm also happy.
Yeah, I love it. Okay, so we started with vendor events and farmers markets. And so let's get into your business now. How many years have you been in business fully?
So I actually started in 2022. So I haven't been in business that long. Last year is when I really started taking it more seriously.
Okay.
So last year our son Eli passed away, and that is when I think I realized that life can be so short, and if there's something you have a desire to do, waiting for the right time is not it's not going to come. You need to do it when you want to do it, not wait until it's perfect. So that's when I really realized that I want to turn this into a business, not just something that I do on the weekends. I want this to be my life. So I started doing selling online. I'm doing podcasts. uh I turned to wholesale and got a business coach, and I've just really put myself in there 100%.
I am so sorry for your loss. There aren't words. But I will say that throwing yourself into it, I think, is a beautiful thing because it makes you happy, right? And I love that you said, like, to do it now, like, I think about too I was thinking about retirement and work, and how annoying is it that you work all this time to get this money for a life you might not even get. You know what I mean? Like, if you think about it, like, we're in our prime now. We can walk now. We can travel now. We can do the things now, and we don't get to enjoy it now. We get
No,
to enjoy it when we're 75. If
and by
I
then
make it
you're
to 75,
exhausted.
yeah, you're tired, exhausted, but at the same time, if I even make it to 75, I would be ecstatic. You know what I mean? Like you just said. I just think it's such a crazy concept that we work so hard for a life we might not even have. And I love that advice of just living in the moment and diving in now and doing what you truly want to do. So you threw yourself in your business and now you said wholesale. What tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, so I started doing some wholesale markets. I sell in probably about 15 different stores now. I'm trying to get into like some of the bigger wholesale markets, but they're very expensive. So
Mhm.
I've applied for a grant and I have a grant competition actually the end of this month to see if I can win some money to do that.
Yay! That's so
So you just
exciting.
really have to look for opportunities and uh, see what's out there to help you get that business going because there are grants out there for businesses like ours.
I love that. Yeah, no, it's so true. And I think it's so funny. We talked about this a lot on the nobody wants to do the legwork anymore. And I think that's where the opportunity is. Like everybody just wants the passive and all those things. But if everybody's going for passive, nothing's passive. So
Right.
I think the legwork is going to be huge in doing some research and figuring things out and finding loopholes like a wholesale. Did you ever
Yeah.
hear fair?
Yeah, so
FAIR?
I'm on Fair, it's kinda like Etsy where it's hard to get seen on there. So for me, if you're gonna do wholesale, like you said, do the legwork. Go to businesses, drop off your card, leave them a sample. I don't recommend bothering them in the middle of the day, but just leave a gift there and say, "Hey, if you are interested, please give me a call or send me an email." But get out there and
I love it.
introduce yourself, even just an email or a phone call.
No, it's so true. It's so true. Think about like the personality that's gone in the day of like AI. And I feel like we're finally getting to a turn of AI where people are starting to notice what was written with AI, what's been said with AI, and they're like, no, like, I don't even want to do that because it's not you. It's not your thought.
Yeah.
It's AI's thought. And I
Yep.
think that that's such a cool thing to experience that we really are going super back to like human connection and dropping off a sample is a beautiful idea to
Yes.
just, like, start getting yourself out there. That's so cool. I love that you do
Yeah.
that.
That's how I started. I just would go in and say, "Hey, give my little 30-second spiel, and here's a sample of what I do, and let me know if you're interested."
I love that, and now look at you in 15 stores.
And
Wild.
even more.
Yeah. Gotta keep going. You
Yes.
gotta do how I'm doing, like, a book tour in different states. You gotta just drive to different states and start dropping samples and
Yeah,
just
I
see
keep
what
trying to convince my husband that we need to sell everything and just live in an RV and travel, and we'll just do these shows but I
no
haven't
bite.
gotten him there yet.
I think that would be so fun. The only thing I was never camped growing up. My parents never camped. They were just not campers. I think my only thing is I watch a ton of, like, Law& and Order
Yes.
and all of those shows that I'm like, nothing good ever comes from a campsite.
You're gonna be abducted.
I'm like, I don't know if I can do it just because of all the things that I watch now, but I think if there was, like, a safe place that I knew was okay for my RV, I'd be down for it. I do wanna do it, though. I just
Yeah,
don't know where to
definitely
park it.
research your campground first.
Yeah,
See if there's
definitely.
been lots of, kidnappings and murders there.
I also saw too, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, that you can park in Walmarts overnight.
You can, yeah, I think they frown upon that more now. It used to be something that a lot of travelers did. You camp in Fred Meyer's parking lot overnight and then move on by morning. But I think now with how the world's changed and their homeless have become so spread out that it's harder to do stuff like that.
So sad. Yeah. No, that's so funny. Well, I hope you get an RV. Just make sure that you're checking those campsites.
We do have an RV. I just haven't convinced him to do it yet.
Yay! I love that. I was watching, so for the longest time, guys, social media is a wild ride because you never know what you're going to find out. I was watching this girl who completely transformed her RV, and that's what she lives in. She lives in this like and I watched her make this beautiful space and I was like, wow, like simple living, like really seems nice too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not
Imagine
have
just
too much
waking up
stuff.
every day by the lake or
No, I can't. That's beautiful. Like you just like she has like the little awning and then she pulls out this like really nice chair and I'm like, that's so sweet. Like I love that for you. That's such a nice thought.
yeah, maybe someday I'll get him there, but I don't he's not
Yeah,
big
you'll
on
have to let us know.
so and that's a lot of change.
Yeah, definitely. Getting rid of a house and driving around all day. I think so for sure.
And then the fact that we'd be together 24/7.
Oh yeah, that might be a little tough. That
Be a
might be a
real
little
test of the marriage.
No, so true. Oh my gosh. Okay, so tell us, so you've been in business for almost 4 years at this point. What is your game plan for the next 5 years? Where do you hope to see your business?
Well, I wanna see my stuff on shelves all over the US. I mean, I and if the tariff issue ever gets figured out, I'd love to see
Uh,
it worldwide.
I
So,
know.
yeah, my goal is to have my brand be a name brand that people search for.
I love it. Oh my gosh. So now I know you're hand making them and you're making all these things. Do you ever make two of the same or is every single piece like completely different? That just struck me.
I do, like, 10 pieces at one time that are
Got it.
the same flower. They're all gonna have slight variations, but they're gonna be the same design. So, I mean, obviously, anything handmade is gonna have some sort of slight variation to it. But, yeah, I do bulk quantities of the design that I'm working on.
Now, do you ever do like special drops on your social media where it's like, I have 5 of these and it's dropping on Friday and then people have to like fight for their lives to get the 5?
Yes, yes, I do that occasionally.
I
I
love
also
that.
do custom orders and I do bridal designs is another thing that I've stepped into that I've been really enjoying is making something custom and special for their day.
I love that. There's something to me about being able to hand make something and just being like a while ago. So if you don't know my story at all, I tried like 30 side hustles. And one of them, I really wanted to be a toy maker, like a plushy toy maker. Can't sew for my life, still can't. But I thought in my mind I could do it, right? So while I was doing this, I got addicted to these like special plush makers and they would do like a special drop, right? Like once a month, and they would have 5 different pieces. I was one of the people that was like going nuts trying to get one of those pieces. I have it and it's like still my little friend. It's like in a, like a special place and I was like this is so cool because like okay, for instance, let's say like Christmas is coming up. You can make really cool like Christmas flowers and be like I have 5 and then people go nuts about
Yep.
trying to get your only 5.
Yeah, the big thing is just getting out there on Instagram and sharing your work and don't be afraid to get in front of the camera. I still have a hard time getting in front of the camera, but I'm getting better.
Yeah, don't rewatch, that's the
Yeah.
case, you just don't rewatch, you just say it once and you're like, what the world sees is what the
Yeah.
world sees, that's gonna be
It
what's gonna
is what it
happen.
is. Don't worry about what people in your town are gonna think because, whatever.
Yeah, they're not paying your bills.
Yep.
It was the longest time to get that mindset of who cares because they're not paying your bills,
Yeah.
longest.
Yeah. I mean, and I live in a small town and there is still that in the back of your head. What's
Of
everybody
course.
gonna think? Here I am putting myself out there. But honestly, if it makes me happy, more power to them. They can talk behind my back.
Yeah, spread the word though, mention the
Yeah.
business.
Keep talking about me.
Just spread the business name for me a little bit, that'd be great. No, I think in general, I think that's one of our biggest fears, right? Like, let's call a spade a spade. I think we've all I even think like the top of the top have a fear of really truly being seen and being known. I think that's why some of the best celebrities don't even have social media because they're like, I don't really actually want you to know who I am. I want you to keep whatever version of me that you're thinking about. And I think when we start these businesses and we're talking into a phone and we're doing this stuff, I don't care if I'm seen in Europe. I care if my next door neighbor is watching. That is who I care about because it's in like my everyday life, right? And I think that's something that we all are grasping and we're all dealing with. But if we can get over that hump of realizing, dang, like what could happen if that person from Europe sees it? Like maybe they have a store and they have a franchise and they're like, oh, you know what, Lindsay? Send me for 25 stores in Europe. Now in Europe. Like, you know what I mean? You never actually know who gets to see your stuff. You
Yeah.
never know.
You have no idea what opportunities out there if you just put yourself out there.
Yeah, and now I hope you all are sitting here thinking, "Wow, somebody from Europe is gonna get me into 30 stores," because you never know. So, like, don't worry about your next door neighbor, and then just worry about that person in Europe who's gonna get you into 30 stores, because it
Exactly.
actually can happen. It's
Oh, yeah.
wild.
Yeah. I mean, crazier things have happened, I'm sure.
Percent. I also think it's so funny too because when we talk about social media and doing all the things, and it's so funny because I'm always like, don't bank on going viral. And then I'm like, well, I mean, you could, but you should probably do something absolutely insane.
It'd be nice to go viral once.
Yeah, no, 100%. And
I'd like it just to happen one time.
if you look at what goes viral though, there's some crazy aspects to it. Like
Uh,
when people were dressing up as the Lorax, I'm like, I could have dressed up as the Lorax and went viral, like holding my book. Like, you know what I mean? It makes you want to try all
Why
these
didn't I
things.
think of that?
Yeah, like I just had to buy a costume and just talk about my book.
And be
Let me go
weird.
do that real quick. Let me be the Grinch wearing your earrings. Like, you know what I mean? Like I think like sometimes like we don't realize like how silly we can get just to actually be seen. And it makes or breaks. The orders would be worth it for me to be in a Grinch costume holding a book.
100%.
100%.
I would
So when you guys see me in my Grinch costume ordering a book, it was happened because of this conversation. All right. Like that's gonna be what happens. No, it's so true. I think it's so funny that we get so in our heads and we get so scared about what other people think. But I also read this somewhere that we are our own main character, right? And that's why we think people think so much about us because it's our life. So we're the main character. But if you really think about how often you think about other people,
Yeah, exactly. Nobody's talking about me in town. Yeah.
no, probably not.
No.
Probably not. And I think at the same time, like, I think about all the people that I watch on social media, and it's like, yes, sometimes you have those keyboard warriors who are like ridiculous, who comment under people's things. It's like, you got nothing better to do than I feel bad. But at the same time, like, I think about the people that I see, and I'm like, wow, she's nuts. Flip. And I just go to the next
And you
one.
forget her 5 seconds later.
Yeah, it's like, wow, like you're crazy. I love it. Next. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's not something that I dwell on. Like, oh my gosh, she jumped from a building to do this. Like, no, it's like, oh, that was cool. Like
Yeah.
next. It's just wild. It's so funny.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, there's so much worry in there of what people are thinking, but the reality is they're 5 seconds later, they're not thinking about it.
No, because something else just happened 5 seconds later on their scroll.
Yeah.
And they're
Yeah.
into that.
Our attention doesn't last that long. Our attention span is 5 seconds, we're done.
Yep. Thanks to TikTok. Thank you for that, TikTok, for giving me a 30-second span of my life. And like, I will say too, like, there's always such a controversy or drama or whatever that I promise you guys, I promise you, you're going to forget. I can't forget the drama that happened yesterday. And I was like, "Oh," because I was just about to bring it up and be like, "Oh, I saw so and so." No, I don't even remember. That's how insignificant these things are. So just post on social media. Nobody's gonna care. Maybe you're gonna get bought in Europe, and it's gonna be a great time. I feel like just do it. So one more thing. You started this business. The kids are gone. What is the mindset that we should have when we wake up every day in your shoes to just be like happy and excited and moving through the fears of all the things that you're doing? Like, how do you get up to start your day in such a positive motion?
Um, I the reality is I'm not always positive.
I love that.
I mean, I still do work full time, so I still wake up every morning and, I gotta go to work today. And then on the weekends, that's when I spend my time doing my shows. But I think if you get up every day and have a goal to head towards, then that's gonna help you get through the everyday work day.
100%. I love that. Because what is your goal for this year?
I don't know if I
Besides
have
being
it.
a household name, do you have little steps that you're like, yes, I made it, next step?
I think my main goal would be to get this grant and to get into a wholesale show like the Atlanta market or the one in Vegas.
Love
That's
it.
my goal for this year. So if I wake up every day and say, okay, here's what I have to do today to reach this goal. Yes, I got to go to work. I got to make money to stay alive, but I have this goal and I'm going to make it happen.
I love that. I love that. I love this conversation. I feel like whenever I have these podcast episodes, it's like things that are actually happening in life and they just like mesh so well. And it's so true. I don't know about you, I get shiny object syndrome where I
Mhm.
just want to do everything at once. And then I lose sight of what the original goal was.
Yeah, what'd I come in here for?
Yeah. I'm like, is this my ADHD or is this just life? I don't know what it is. But at the same time, I feel like last night I sat there and I have 2 beautiful, lovely women helping me out with my book tour and trying to become a New York Times bestseller. And I was like, guys, I'm going to need you to keep me on track. No more ideas until this book tour is done. And I think it's just so funny because you're so right. Like, we get all of these different ideas and goals, but if you just hit the first step first, and then go to the next one. That's going to be where you're most beneficial instead of trying to do 7,500 different angles at the same time.
Yeah, definitely. When I first started this, I had this idea that I was gonna do jewelry and I was gonna do decor and home
Mhm.
goods, and I'm like, "Yeah, I'm lucky if I can keep up with jewelry." So,
Yeah.
aim for one.
No, it's
Pick
so
one thing.
true. Pick one thing.
Pick
Pick
one thing,
one thing.
make
I
that really
love
good,
that.
and then you can expand later.
100%. You know how your kids have 47 new outfits for summer and you're still rocking the same black tank top from 2019? Yeah, same. That's why I love this summer sponsor. Mauve Shop Boutique, a mom owned shop built by a mama who actually gets it. Trendy, wearable pieces that make you feel like yourself again. And here's the best part, they ship anywhere in the country, so you can fill your cart from the couch after bedtime. Free shipping on orders over $75. And use my code MHM10 because trust me, it feels fast. Mauve Shop Boutique, where you come to feel like you, and as they say, see you in the fitting room. You should reach out to we have a boutique here in New Jersey. It's called the Mauve Shop. You should reach out to her and see if she'd be willing to stack some of your earrings here, and then you'll be in New Jersey.
Definitely. Yeah.
Yeah, you should. She's fantastic. She has very curated pieces that like really make sense, but you should reach out to her. I think you would mesh well. All right, Lindsay, my favorite question. What does being a money hungry mama mean to you?
Being a money hungry mama means putting yourself first once in a while to make yourself feel seen again.
I love it. I love that. It's so true. I hope that, as everybody listens to these episodes and hears your story and oh my gosh, was it beautiful? I was not expecting. And I think that I know for sure it changed me. So I'm hoping that other moms are listening, like, okay, I need to start now. So it's not too late.
Yeah, I mean, don't put yourself last all the time because if you put yourself first once in a while, you're going to show your kids that it is important to put themselves first once in a while too.
100%.
And it'll make you a better mom, really.
100%. 100%. When it's so funny, we talk about this all the time. I'm in this age where it's like, if I'm in a bad mood, everyone's in a bad mood.
Mhm.
Like,
Yep.
and it's wild because then you can't even be in a bad mood because now everybody's in a bad mood. And you're
It's
like,
just
wow,
making you
like,
in more of a bad mood.
yeah, like this just spiraled so fast because I was in a bad mood. And like it's what happened on Sunday. I couldn't even tell you why. Just sometimes when you're overtired and everything's hitting and I woke up and I was like, I'm tired and I don't want to do this day again. And
I
it's
don't want to
like,
be here.
yeah. And all of a sudden I'm in a bad mood. And then the little started, and then my oldest started, and then my husband started. And then, you snap on your husband because you're like, hey, you can't be in a bad mood. And he's like, well, we're all in a bad mood because you're in a bad mood. I'm like, all right, well, thanks for calling me.
Let me just have my bad mood.
Like, let me just live my life for 5 minutes. All right. Like, we all don't need to do what I do, but it's so funny. And then everybody snapped out of it and it was good, but it was just wild. And like the first hour of waking up, everybody feeds off of you. So the moral of it is if you're in a bad mood and you're sad and you need your cup filled, go fill that cup.
And go fill your cup and bring that joy back to your family.
100%. Or else you'll have a full hour like mine. And then nobody wanted that. Nobody wants that. You don't get bad moods. So just go fill your dang cup, whatever that means to you, and get it done.
Yes.
But it's so funny. Oh my gosh, Lindsay, how can we support you?
check out my Instagram page at underscore bold and bloom. Go to my website, shopboldandbloom.com. And just, if you don't have the money to buy something, that's fine. Just spread the word of who I am.
I love that. Spread the word of who she is. Oh my gosh, fantastic. And if you know any local boutiques or shops like Mom Shop, if you're listening, we're coming for you. But if you know anybody that you think that her jewelry would be fantastic in, please give her the intro. That's what this community is all about.
Yeah,
Thank
definitely.
you so much for being here, Lindsay.
Thank you for having me. I've really enjoyed talking to you.